wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet, we welcome you to hopefully another explosive, expository edition of our live Sunday presentation this very day. A very sad day in terms of our memory in this very struggle, this very movement. The 13th day of September in the year of our Most High Elohim 2020, with the time now standing at precisely a minute past 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. And I presume, and correctly so, the same number of minutes past the hour, regardless of where you're domiciled. I welcome each and every one of you. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. This is Radio Biafra. We are listened to in well over 160 countries and territories all around the world. If you're not listening to us via IPOB Community Radio, Radio Biafra app, then you're joining us via my Facebook page. Of course, the numbers will be suppressed as usual because Facebook is corrupt, they are criminal, they are evil. They are supporting the damnable Zoological Republic because they are supporters of terrorism and Islamic terrorism at that. And I tell them to their faces and I dare them to shut down my page, which they can't. All they can do is to suppress. All they can do is to restrict audience reach. All they can do is to go and re-edit what I have just written to insert some, should I say, unintended grammatical errors in it. But we are defeating them as we have defeated every enemy before us. We are not going to, should I say, dampen the intensity of our relentless onslaught against the damnable Zoological Republic. We are going to continue full steam ahead. We are unstoppable. That is one thing our enemies must understand. We are being listened to this very evening, morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are, even on FM in the land of Biafra. We are also on satellite. Some are listening via YouTube, and some of you are listening via TuneIn. A whole host of platforms are streaming this very transmission live, and I welcome sincerely and honestly each and every one of you, including saboteurs, including damnable zoological animals. We welcome each and every person. Once you have your pen and paper ready with you, we shall, without further hesitation, proceed to present this very landmark program this very evening. You must pay very close attention. You must listen attentively and be able to appreciate where we are coming from. We are not like anything you have seen before. We are a special breed. We are not infected with the mentality of colonialism. We are not the children of neo-colonialists. We are not easily persuaded to tilt towards evil. We are upright. We are whiter than white and whiter than snow. We are unstoppable. We do not retreat. We do not surrender. The only thing we know is freedom for Biafra, and that is where we are heading to. And nobody, and I repeat, nobody, no bagger, no idiot is capable of stopping us. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't even matter if you possess nuclear weapons. One thing is certain. We shall do all we can diplomatically and, of course, peacefully to restore Biafra. Where that fails, any option the enemy gives to us, we shall gladly accept it and meet them, even at a place of their own choosing. We must pray as always. But I must tell you who I am. My name is Nnamdi. I am the leader of IPOB the whole world over. I am the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television. And by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. We are unstoppable. It doesn't matter what the enemy does. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Anybody who understands where we're coming from will appreciate our doggedness and our determination. We do not capitulate. Our destination is freedom. That very freedom should be found in Biafra, and that's where we're heading to, and no idiot is capable of stopping us. We must pray this very evening. Some people have written to me to say, oh, you're very harsh the way you speak. That is why some Efulefus all over the place are crawling out, because when they go to work in the morning, when they try to speak, their white friends will tell them, are you not part of Nnamdi Kanus movement that is making it impossible for some of you, or should I say, that have made us to understand that some of you are backwards, you do not reason very well. Anybody from the zoo called Nigeria is an animal because the name was given to you by a white lady. It wasn't given to you by your ancestors. If you say you're a proud Nigerian, it means you're a proud animal, you're a proud idiot. And I must tell you that to your face. Even if you don't like it, then when you go down, you reflect, you ponder, and you think over what I'm telling you, you come to the realization that what I'm telling you is the truth. And you must repent from your stupidity, because we are not infected. You know, that stupid black mentality, we are not infected with it. In IPOB, we are of sound mind, very pure, very clear. We know what we are doing. We know where we are heading to. No amount of idiotic and hopeless distractions can take us away from where we're going to. No idiot can, not today, no, never, ever, ever. And we must pray this very evening. As I was researching this evening before coming on air, it should be your morning, your afternoon, or your midnight, something struck me. I came across a prayer for genocide victims. In this very genocide prayer, let me tell you the extent of the idiocy of some of our people, and of course, the conspiracy, global conspiracy against Biafra. You know, when you try to explain to our people that we have a lot of enemies, not out of our own making, we have a lot of enemies because of what Biafra represents, because of what it portends for the future of the black race all over the world, most of you don't understand. Now, it was widely acknowledged, even by US papers and publications, that what happened in Biafra was a genocide. But you know, the funniest thing is that when you go through the list of the countries where genocide was committed, Biafra is always missing. The only people to recognize Biafra was Israel, in terms of the suffering and the pain we had to endure from 66 to 70. Benjamin Netanyahu a few years ago mentioned it during Holocaust Memorial. He mentioned, of course, the Jews of Europe and Biafra. Now, this evening, you know, the thing about a fool is that they don't reason very well. They don't think very well. They don't reason. The thing about a fool, a traitor, is that a traitor doesn't reason. That is why all over the world, even in countries where they no longer practice capital punishment, there is always capital punishment for traitors. Because you know one thing is that every Efulefu is an idiot. They don't reason very well. Now, ask yourself this very question. Why was the name Biafra deleted from the list of recognized people that have suffered Holocaust by the United Nations? Who are those behind it? Any day you understand that, then you will understand the magnitude of the problems that we have to encounter and surmount every blessed day in order to make sure that the message of Biafra permeates right through the subconscious of every living being on this very earth. These are the things that most people don't appreciate. These are the things that they don't even understand. But we are here to educate them. I went through the prayers. There they have the Nazi Holocaust, of course, in Europe. They mentioned Cambodia, there was Rwanda, there is Bosnia, there is Darfur, mostly, of course, Islamic. But there is no Biafra. Ask yourself that question, why is there no Biafra? Because of poverty of leadership. Because you have no leaders, you have people, all they care about is their pocket. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about your rich heritage. They do not care about your survival as a race and as a people. All they want to do is to contest for presidency. That is why we have our people in Benue. Igbo people are also scattered everywhere, cut into pieces. And nobody gives a damn. All they want to do is to line their pockets with the loot they have collected as a result of the privilege they enjoy in political office. All that nonsense is coming to an end because Biafra is coming. But we must pray before we proceed this very evening to bring you what we have in store for you. This is not an original prayer from me. I am praying a prayer that is prayed for every Holocaust victim all over the world. And today being the 13th, and of course 14th, because tomorrow is our Sabotua Day, we remember the likes of Ohaneze and Deatron and Dushi. We remember Igbo governors and the Fulefus in Lagos and in Abuja, those who ganged up to ensure that our people were killed. By this time last year, but you understand this very clearly, there will be no forgiveness when the time comes. They will face trial and they'll be hanged in public. I am making it absolutely clear so they can intensify their treachery and their sabotage. But that on its own is never ever going to stop us. This evening we are going to pray. We are going to remember all those that fell at Isi Alangwa, everywhere, every victim of this very effort. In fact, we even remember those that died between 66 and 1970. But one thing is different with this generation: we are not going to forgive nor forget. We are going to keep hammering on this very issue until the world recognizes that Biafra did indeed suffer a genocide, and we did in fact suffer a Holocaust, equal in magnitude to that which was suffered by Jews of Europe. The only thing is that Jews had leaders. The Jews of Europe had a credible, formidable leadership. The only difference is that we in Biafra land, we have no leaders, or we have our traitors everywhere. They used traitors to replace as leaders. That is why nobody is talking about this very important aspect of African history, the genocide in Biafra land. But we must talk about it. That is why we are different. That is why they do all they can to gang up against us. Of course, they are failing and they will continue to fail. And that is why we are unstoppable and highly formidable, of course, and they know this. We must pray this evening. Cover your heads wherever you are if you're one of us. And you must bow down in prayer. Let us call upon the Most High Elohim, God who is full of mercy. This same God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, this same God of Biafra, this same God of Eri, the progenitor of the very modern Biafra that we have today, who dwells on high, under whose pinions rest the souls of our beloved departed, those who died 3 years ago, this very night, and some the following morning. We remember all of them. Those that were betrayed by our Ohanese and Igbo governors that perished at the hands of those that killed us between 60 to 70. We ask thee, O Heavenly Father, to bear us witness. To bear us witness. We cry out to thee as we remember every victim of Operation Python Dance, instigated by Igbo men and women and carried out by Fulani Janjaweed. And Britain was in Abuja, and they were watching helplessly and hopelessly. They did nothing. The US government was there, they did nothing. Because we are your chosen children, because we are blessed. The same way that the whole world kept quiet, as Jews were being slaughtered in Europe, was how they kept quiet, as your children were being slaughtered in the land of Biafra, the land of the ancients, where you said that Biafra will be restored. And we hold on to that very tenaciously. We lost over 5 million between 67 and 70, from 66 to 70. We survived it. We have lost many more. Since then, we are still living, we are still surviving it. Our women, our children, our young, our old, our strong, our weak, are being slaughtered and kidnapped on a daily basis. Every day we are being kidnapped. In Anambra yesterday, we were kidnapped. Everywhere we are being tortured, we are being killed. The videos are everywhere, the pictures are everywhere, but the conscience of the world is blind to it. That is why you, as Almighty God in heaven, will come to the rescue of your children. We cry out to thee, because we are being tortured to death, we are being mutilated, acid poured on our faces, in borrow pits in Aba, where our corpses were dumped. Amnesty wrote, the world condemned, the world spoke, but nothing happened. The same regime is still in power. The same criminal cabal is still in power. Nobody ever holds them responsible, because the criminality of Britain is to cover the evil that the Fulanis are doing in a damnable zoological republic that you did not create. It was made by man, and so will the hands of men destroy it. Oh, Heavenly Father, to thee we cry about the horrors of 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. The full devastation of Fulani Janjaweedism and British hatred for Biafra became very clear for the whole world to see. That hatred has continued. The Fulani Janjaweed have continued to kill, to slaughter with impunity and at will. Nobody holds them responsible if you speak. They threaten you with imprisonment if you speak. They abduct you if you speak. They imprison you without charge. That is the cruel, unjust world that your children are living in. We have pledged ourselves unto thee that your will must be done upon our lives in this age and in this time, that Biafra will be restored according to your mandate and not that of man. We are human. And in our frailty, O Heavenly Father, we have realized that we as human beings have the potential to choose to do what is wrong or to act justly. Help us to be worthy of your gift of free will, so that we can hasten the time when peace and harmony shall banish prejudice and hate from the Fulani. That concoction, that damnable zoological republic, even this day as we pray for the emergence of Oduduwa Republic, as we pray for the emergence of Middle Belt Republic, as we pray, oh Heavenly Father, that every nationality, every ethnicity shackled in the bondage of Britain shall be set loose. Only through your name will all this come to pass, that we may dwell in peace in the land of the living, that we may give thee and only thee, not any rubbish, not any man, not any idol, not anything born by a woman, but only thee, Heavenly Father, indivisible, unseen, now and forevermore we pray. He said, we must proceed to preach the gospel of heaven this very evening. What we preach is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Unstoppable. This IPOB is indivisible. I challenge any bagger to try. Indivisible under God. That was the prayer and the oath I took before God in Jerusalem many, many years ago. That this very family is noble. That is why no matter what the enemy does, we emerge stronger and stronger. Woe betide any idiot that will allow the spirit of greed, envy, and jealousy to inhabit their soul. Woe betide the fool. Because here, this gospel is being preached in truth and in every honesty. And only God can see the hearts of men. Only Chukwukikabiyama can, not any mortal flesh. You can second guess, of course. You can attempt to predict or to assume. But only the Most High understands the thoughts and the hearts of men. Only God can see in secret. Only God in heaven can see in darkness. That is why we maintain unapologetically our status of being whiter than white and whiter than snow. That is what it means to be in IPOB and a family member. That is why this movement, without the input or support of criminals, is number one all over the globe today. That is why if you are removed, you feel your life is about to come to an end. Because we are potent. Because indeed, we are the only thing that actually matters in the lives of our people. We must preach this gospel. 3 years ago, today, and going into tomorrow, remember the victims of state-sponsored genocide, the complicity and duplicity of Ahaneze and Igbo governors and some Abuja-based political contractors. The reason why they came to my house was to kill me and to stop me, to stop this great and formidable IPOB, to stifle the Biafra agitation, but they failed woefully. Though we lost a lot of brave men that very day, the Zoo Army and the police laid siege in my village as the Zoo Air Force were patrolling and ever ready to drop gravity bomb on my compound to vaporize every living being there and to destroy every structure within. 2 Air Force jets were hovering around my village throughout the siege and the invasion of my compound that led to the death of very gallant men and women on that very day. Igbo governors and Ohanese were busy plotting with the same people that killed their parents during the war to come and kill IPOB. One thing, as I mentioned during our prayers, is that every saboteur on this very earth are naturally unreasonable. They do not reason. They complain about Fulani Janjaweedism, but when they found people who were working to stifle the evil that is Fulani, what Ohanes and the governors did was to run to Fulani people to ask them to come and kill. The same people that killed them between 66 and 1970. That is how foolish Fulefus are. By nature, they are very hopeless. If you ask them the crime of IPOB, they cannot tell you that they are agitating to be free, asking for referendum. You then went to Fulani to go and call killers with AK-47 to descend our land to slaughter our people. What have you done? You've done nothing. All you do morning, afternoon, and night is to gossip your lives away. Manifestedly, of course, showcasing your stupidity. But today, that same IPOB you thought you were going to crush is still here, stronger than ever, working very, very hard to decimate the damnable Zoological Republic of Nigeria. And today, the world understands how rotten the zoo is. Because we always win, as I say, all the time we always win. Always. We always prevail. And in the zoo, we have prevailed. They can kidnap all they like. The Hausa Fulani, I wouldn't say Hausa, of course, is Fulani. Hausa doesn't exist. They are servants. They are slaves to the Fulani. They don't exist as a people. All they have is their language. As human beings, they don't exist. The zoo army can do all they like. The DSS can kidnap as many people as possible. They cannot stop this movement. In South Africa, during the days of ANC, people were killed, people were kidnapped. There was sporadic shooting by the South African army, their security forces. They did stop apartheid from crumbling. During the time of Martin Luther King, during the civil rights movement in the USA in the 60s and early 70s, of course, they did stop civil rights from being enacted as a law in the USA. The devil will try. Satan will do all it can. But in the end, the truth must survive, it must prevail, light must shine upon the lives of those who are just and upright. Ohaneze and the Igbo governors, they have failed because they are unreasonable. The same people that gathered at Nikele Crystal to plot the assassination of their children, as they would like to call us, we are the same people lamenting the brutality of the same Fulani Janjaweed army in the late 60s. The same people that killed your parents, you call them to kill your children. How foolish can you be? How foolish can you be? That is why an Efulefu is a fool forever and ever. Sabo is a fool forever and ever. They do not reason. They cannot think. How many of them has ever risen up to fight Fulani Janjaweedism before we came? That is, before Chukwu Kikabiama determined that we should come. They were cowardly. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't rise up and face Fulani Janjaweed terrorists squarely in the face. They are all cowards. Until Chukwu Kikabiama determined that IPOB should come. Now we have come. And what did they do? They ran to the Fulani to go and bring them to come and kill. The same people. Can you imagine such stupidity? It's just like somebody having a problem. Let's say that one of the religious sects you have in Israel is having a problem with Netanyahu. Netanyahu will now run to Germany and look for neo-Nazis and call them and report them to neo-Nazis. Can you believe such stupidity? Do you think that Netanyahu can run to neo-Nazis in Germany and ask them to go and kill Jews? I'm asking you. I want the world to understand how evil Ohaneze war, should I say, is with the governors. Just understand it. We have been through a genocide before, a Holocaust, lost nearly 5 million people. Who were those responsible for the death of over 5 million Biafran people? Igbos especially. The same Zoo army, Nigerian army. Now, who did Ohaneze, the same Ohaneze that claimed to be, that was formed to protect the rights and interests of our people, and the governors, who did they run to come and kill their own children, so to speak, figuratively speaking? The same people that killed 5 million of them. Now tell me how you can describe any of these people as being intelligent. Please, somebody should explain that to me. It's like Netanyahu going to Germany to go and look for neo-Nazis, carrying swastika to go and kill Jews. Going to Nazi party to go and kill Jews. Because those Jews want something that perhaps he himself doesn't want. How can anybody in their right mind refer to those who instigated Operation Python Dance as intelligent people, as elite, as intellectuals? Just explain that to me. Somebody should please explain it to me in simple English so I can understand. Because they don't know anything. Because they are the agents of darkness. Because they are working for Lucifer. That is why they are the way they are. And that is why they will continue to fail. And I want to prove to you tonight that Elohim Chukwukika Biama is fighting our battle for us. We are just mere mortals. We just exist, doing and preaching this gospel fearlessly. Britain is our problem. That is the truth, because they hate Biafra with a passion. Let me tell you something. A British person who works in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, who works in the Foreign Service, who have spent years researching what Biafra is all about, they can never love you. Because they know you are the chosen children of God in heaven. Why is my language undiplomatic? I am an Anglophile. I am a British citizen. Anglophile means that, of course, I love and cherish all the values that England have come to represent over the centuries. Why do I speak the way I do? It's because some of them don't want us to exist as a people. An example is the British High Commissioner in Abuja right now. She wants all of us dead. A woman for that matter. A woman for that matter. She wants all of us dead. The only people they want to survive are the Efulefus. Those who maybe 2 years from now will gladly convert our communities of villages and our towns into Emirates. That is what they want. That is what Lucifer is pushing for. That is what the devil wants. But unfortunately for them, there is IPOB, and we are immovable. They know we cannot be bought. Anybody with tiny grain of common sense, you know we are unbuyable and we are not moving from where we are. And God Almighty in heaven is fighting our battles. Ask yourself this question. What did we do to Facebook? Ask yourself, did Biafra offend Mark Zuckerberg? In what way did we offend that young man? How? But he came to Nigeria, collected money, collected cash, bribe from the late dead Buhari. Collected money to suppress Biafra that he doesn't know about. Sometimes, if I am an Efulef, if I'm an idiot, if I'm a saboteur, sometimes I should be able to sit down and reason and think of the array of enemies, very powerful enemies that we have. Before you dabble into your stupidity, into your, not that it has anything to do with us, because you can't do anything. Sabo, morning, you can't do nothing. Think of the enemies that is to tell you the self-hate that propels these people being controlled by Loretta Onochie, that harlot in Asarok. Some of you don't understand that you are surrounded by enemies. Those enemies are afraid of what you have inside you. They know that with you, light will come into Africa. They know with you, a black man can no longer be called nigger. They know with you that Africa will be liberated. They know with you, you will be to Africa what Japan was to Southeast Asia. They understand all of that. And they are doing their damned best to stop you. Yet you cannot see it because you're a traitor. Let me tell you how Elohim is fighting for us. everything I say comes to pass. Everything I tell you must come to pass. If you're in doubt, there is none of your so-called Papa G or Grandpapa G or none of those idiots, none of them has come to 10% accuracy of prediction. Mine is 100%. 100%. None of your so-called, what they do is guesswork. None of them. That you call your daddy in the Lord because you're a black fool in Africa, you have no brain, you cannot reason very well. None of them has come close. And I want to prove to you that Elohim is with us. What is happening in the zoo? We will go to what Obasanjo said. Obasanjo is perhaps the only, apart from Abacha, the zoo have only had 2 decent heads of state. What I mean by decent is not by their performance, but of course they understood the zoo and how the zoo functioned. One is Abacha, or should I say, I will put Obasanjo for the other is Abacha. Abacha is a representation of the wickedness and evil of a Nigerian. People that will be there and the police will go and arrest people, students who are planning to protest fuel hike. When the same people, when Buhari was alive and protesting against Jonathan, nobody arrested them. But all of you are quiet. That's how foolish all of you. People say, oh, but stop it. You insult them too much. You're insulting. Why won't I insult them when they are foolish? When people have chosen to be foolish, why should they not? Why wouldn't we insult them? Why not? Under Jonathan, there was fuel strike. All these so useless idiots you call your daddy G.O. I understand all the nonsense with daddy Freeze, all that garbage, all some of you hypocritical monkeys in the zoo without brain. The same pastors, the same Papa G.O., Grandpapa G.O., the same people, of course. Facebook will cut, of course. I can see they're saying, sorry, we are having trouble playing this video. That is what I can see on the screen right in front of me. That is what I can see right in front of me. But of course, that is the way they are. That is the way the zoo operates. We are going to see if we can continue by some other means. I know they will do their devilish best to try to stop what we are doing this very evening. That is the way they roll. That is the way they operate. If Fulefus cannot see it, they cannot understand it. The Fulefus we have cannot understand it. But this very day, of course, as always and in everything, we are going to do the best we can to make sure that this very program continues unabated. They are saying, sorry, we are having difficulties. We are having trouble playing this video, whatever that means. I have no clue. I have no idea. They are trying to stop us from. That was why I said I knew they will interrupt the program. Of course, I knew that. That was why I said that everybody must please try and get or try and be on IPOB community radio. They are stopping our broadcast this evening on Facebook. They are interrupting it. They are interrupting it. They are doing their best to interrupt it, but we are going to go back live. We are going to be live. Nobody is going to stop us. I mean, nobody can. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. We are doing the best we can to return and make sure we are on Facebook broadcasting this very evening. I don't know that. Yes, we are trying to. Please do bear with me. Do bear with us. Our Facebook has been rudely interrupted, as always. That is what they do. They interrupt what we are doing. They are hoping and praying. Of course, once they do it, they will now cut the numbers of people viewing to maybe 4,000 or thereabout. 4K, that is what they do. So that people following on Facebook will not be able to enjoy this very program. To enjoy this very program, we must continue. We must continue, please. Do bear with us. Do bear with us. Do bear with us. We are absolutely off on Facebook. I imagine we are off on Facebook. I don't know if people can hear me. I don't know if those of you on Facebook can still follow that. I know that YouTube is okay. I need confirmation. I do need that. Oh, they said that Facebook is still live. Absolutely wonderful. So we continue. They said it's still live. So we proceed. If there is any problem, please do let me know. Do let me know from here. It is giving me a different information altogether. That's what Facebook is doing. I think they have some of their staff that is dedicated. They are dedicated to making sure that we are disrupted each time we come live on air, which is a very good thing because it shows how formidable and how strong we are. Obasanjo understands how the zoo functions. And this same Obasanjo have now spoken. He has tackled the idiots in Asorok, the fools they have there, people who are blind. One day he is young, the other day he is old. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody understands who is there wearing a mask, but I do know it is Aisha Buhari's boyfriend, of course, I do know that. Again, according to newspaper headlines, Obasanjo tackles Buhari, says the zoo, Nigeria, or Nigeria to some of you who want to be a little bit posh, is fast drifting to a failed state. It is drifting to a failed state. Why is it a failed state? Because of what Obama did, what Cameron did. They imposed Fulani because Fulani is easy to control by the white neocolonialists. That is why they put them there, to make sure that oil and gas is flowing, to make sure that the reign of mediocrity continues, to make sure that idiocy reigns supreme in their zoo. That is why they don't look at you or regard you as a human being. When you see white people insulting you, please, you should be grateful to them. Because they are reminding you of your stupidity. Somebody came to Africa and named you Nigeria, wiped away with one stroke of the pen your entire history and who you are, and gave you a history from 1914. And they authenticated that history in the year 1960 to show how foolish our people are. Today, Obasanjo, the ex-president, has again tackled whoever is the idiot in Asorok, they claim is Buhari, over what he called mismanagement of diversity and socio-economic development of Nigeria, noting that the country is fast drifting to a failed state. Of course, the zoo has failed. Fulani terrorists are in control of the north. They kill with impunity and at will. Nobody arrests them. You don't hear about DSS raiding their homes in the middle of the night. You don't hear about army rounding up their youths and shooting them. No, not at all. It's only happening in the south. Yet people that claim they're intellectuals or they're reasonable, they're intelligent, cannot see all these things. And that is very, very troubling. Extremely worrying. That people who claim that they are educated, people who claim they are reasonable, people that claim they are sensible, they cannot see what Obasanjo is saying. The zoo is drifting to a failed state. It has failed already. The only thing holding the zoo together is your collective cowardice. Just fear, cowardice. Fulani have rubbed your nose. All of you, Fulani, they have used your face and rubbed it in the mud and the Fulani in the cow dung. In the cow dung. The waste from their cattle, they have used all of your faces, all of your intellectual faces, and rubbed it in it because you are cowards. You cannot say anything. Fulani controls all your lives, from the presidency to the last DSS idiot in an office, enforcing Fulani Janja Buddhism. Cowardice. The zoo is a failed state. The only thing holding it together is cowardice. And the greed of some traitors who will always be traitors, those that their ancestors were warrant chiefs when the white man was around. You don't know that? Tell me why people will not revolt in a place where those who claim they instituted federal character just jettisoned it, and all of you are just looking. When was the last time a president of the zoo and INEC chairman came from the same region? Since when? Go and check your history. Because you don't read history, because you don't read anything more than 2 lines. Sabo cannot read anything more than 2 lines. These educated illiterates cannot read. I'm asking you, when was the last time? This is the only regime in the world where the head of INEC or Electoral Commission is from the same tribe as whoever they claim is their president. All the service chiefs. Because the ones they have from Yoruba are just decoration. Everybody knows it's just for decoration. All of you are there. And you wake up in the morning and you open your useless thinking mouth to mention one Nigeria. Let us, this thing that IPOB is doing, this thing Nnamdi Kanus is doing, to tell you how foolish you are as a human being. How daft you are. How daft you are. Disclosing this at an interactive session with some sociocultural groups in Abuja on Friday, Obasanjo said, today, Nigeria is fast drifting to a failed state to a failed and badly divided state economically. Our country is becoming a basket case and poverty capital of the world. And socially, we are firming up as an unwholesome and insecure country. Everybody knows that. Every fool knows it. Even those who claim that they are intellectuals, they know this. Ask them, why can't you rise up as IPOB has risen? Why not? Do you see that we are the ones who are leading the way? Even that Obasanjo had this courage is because of IPOB. Because before now, all of you were in awe of Fulani Janjaweed. All of you were afraid of them, terrified of. I said they are nothing. These are vacuous, empty idiots. They have nothing to boast of. Absolutely. It's only your fear that will allow Fulani to take over your village. Only if you're a coward. Only if you are a fool will you allow them to take over your land. Look at what they are doing with impunity. Once you speak, they look for something against you, and all of you are there. And I have an advice to give to Obasanjo this evening. Live on air, the whole world is listening. Millions are listening all over the world. I said millions are listening all over the world. I am going to give Obasanjo advice. Because, of course, Obasanjo is an agent of neocolonialism. Those that want the zoo to remain one, those that built you. You don't know, it's a thing of pride. It's just like your child. Have you ever destroyed a toy made by your child before? Go to your child's wardrobe this evening or morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. Get one of those toys that your child painstakingly constructed and destroy it and see how the child will behave. A simple example. So, if you are talking about dismembering the zoo, Britain feels insulted. Britain, they see themselves as whites. They are gods. They went to this darkened continent and civilized this bunch of animals, brought them down from the branches of the tree and made them who they are, gave them education system, gave them the Bible that they are jumping up and down for, and gave them education system and everything that they know. Do you understand it? So destroying the zoo or dividing the zoo, getting us to go back to how we were before the white man came is an insult. Britain feels offended. That who are these niggers? Who are these monkeys to attempt to dismember what the superior white people, they are whites, they are Europeans, they are superior. We created Nigeria. How can you divide it? We are your superior. We are your gods. We gave you your names. The names you're bearing today, we gave to you. We gave you Anglican Church. We made sure Catholic Church was there. Everything you are, we made it possible. You're shouting Jesus Christ. We gave you Jesus Christ. Everything you are is because of us. Do you see how they reason? That is why if you come out to say, I don't want the zoo, I want to go back to how we were before you came, they will say, no, you are nobody, you're not. And they are using the lives of Obasanjo and some of you demented idiots claiming they're educated. Some of you fools. I read one idiot. He said, I will fight for as a patriot. Patriot of what? Patriot of what your father created or your grandfather or what a white person created for his own selfish interest. Are you reasonable at all? You claim you went to school. You claim you're educated. You claim you have your PhD. And I'm asking you again, how can you be proud of something that did not come from your village? Something you never created. Not you, not your father, not your grandfather, not your ancestors, but something a white tramp, a white trash created. And you're intelligent. And you're educated. Please explain that to me. What are the basis of this your so-called intellect? All this rubbish you idiots are mouthing every day. Did you create Nigeria? Did your father create Nigeria? Did your grandfather create Nigeria? Did your great-grandfather create Nigeria? Did your great-great-great-grandfather create Nigeria? The answer is no. It was created by a drunken white trash. And any attempt to dismantle it is tantamount to dismantling a toy created by a child. The child is going to cry and rebel. And that is what Britain is doing. But some of you are too foolish, you cannot see it. Because you're not educated. I am so sorry to say, you are not educated. You're not learned. You are not learned. They are your superiors. Everything you are today, from Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture, all the ministries you have is copied. This is Britain, copied from white man, from Europe. Their own. Nobody created it for them. They evolved this system. That is one thing a useless black African baboon doesn't understand. They are masters of this system because it evolved organically over the years. Their system of governance is an evolutionary process best suited to their ideals and value system. That is something a black monkey doesn't understand. I have to lecture you and tell you the truth. That's what I preach. The gospel of truth. Ask a white man, Britain, who colonized you? Simple now. Who colonized you? Who gave you Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Religious, all these ministries? Who gave it to you? It evolved. You created it out of necessity. Once there is a need to create a ministry, you create. When I was in England, there was no Supreme Court. In England, no, it was out of necessity, the English Supreme Court was created. It's not old. It's not even up to 30 years old. The English Supreme Court is not up to 30 years old. Do you know that? At the time, you have Ministry of Culture. After a while, they will delete it. Before, there was no office of the Deputy Prime Minister in England. Ask in the UK, ask anybody. There was none. To my understanding, John Prescott under Tony Blair was the first man to use the title Deputy Prime Minister, at least in modern times. Out of necessity. Out of necessity. And I'm not even sure that Boris Johnson has a Deputy Prime Minister. He doesn't. Now I'm asking you, black people in Africa, zoo animals that call themselves intellectuals, what is your contribution to the governance structure of where you come from? Zero. Everything you brought from abroad. Everything is from abroad. And now, a Yoruba man can manage those, should I say, the foreign governance style, so to speak. A Biafran can manage it. But Fulani cannot. Because they didn't go to the same school. You are practicing a British system of government. That's what you have. Everything is done by the British. Now, when a Biafran was there, things were good. When a Yoruba man was there, Oduduwa, things were okay. Do you know why? Because these two sets of people from the South, they went to the same school that white people go to. I want you to understand something this evening. If not, that is why I said, bring your pen and your paper with you. The reason why, when Obasanjo was there, things were a bit, should I say, okay. Jordan was there, things were a bit all right. But now that Janjaweed is there, things are, do you know why? Because they did not attend the same type of school that people in the South went to. People in the South of the zoo, created by the British, they go to British schools, of course. In the North is Sharia and Al-Majri, Janjaweedism. Now, how can somebody who is school, if we are practicing Saudi theocracy, Islamic theocracy, you see them, they will excel. You're asking somebody who is a Janjaweed to come and practice something that is happening in England. I mean, come on, let us be reasonable, please. They cannot do it. They cannot. And that is why Obasanjo said that the zoo is a failed state. Now, let me tell you how the Fulanis operate. And I'm saying it for the benefit of the Fulefus, those who are not reasonable enough, those who are not sensible enough. This is how they are. Once you criticize them, they come with DSS, police, everything, all the slander in this, every garbage in this world. Now, what are they doing in reaction to what Obasanjo said? They have come. That is Janjaweed for you. And of course, some of them being advised by Yoruba people. Now listen, presidency replies about presidency. They have come again, presidency, not Buhari. Obasanjo was talking about Buhari. Now they have said presidency. To prove to you once again that there is no Buhari. Only a fool can believe that that thing there is Buhari. You have to be a compound illiterate, a complete twat for you to believe that that thing wearing a mask is Buhari. Now listen very carefully. Presidency replies Obasanjo describes him as lowly level divider in chief. Now, there is this veneer of unity, this charade of unity. Let's unite. Under that unity, under the flag of unity, under this false unity, your villages are being taken over. Under this false unity, Mietiala is being emboldened, financed to be terrorizing you. Under this banner of unity, they are planting Fulani everywhere. Under banner of unity, Fulani terror is spreading everywhere. And you are foolish. You are hopeless. You cannot see it. They are calling Obasanjo divider in chief. He wants to, everything is he wants to divide the country. And I want to ask the idiots, what were you before the white man came? Do you see why God blessed white people? You know, a white man came, gave you a system of government that is alien to you. You swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. And any attempt to amend, to change that thing a white man made, you have idiotic black people fighting themselves over it. Why is it, how can you tell me that whites are not superior to you? Is there any white man at the National Assembly in the zoo? Is there any white man in Asarok? I'm asking yourself, is there any white man there? Now ask yourself, why are they saying that that thing a white man created must be there? It's like the word of God. These are, they are white. You know, we are black. We are tainted. We are very ugly. We don't know anything. We look like baboons. We look like monkeys. Why must you tamper with something a white man made? I want you to understand how foolish black people are. When I say that blacks are foolish, I have my reasons, and I wish anybody can debate me publicly on it anytime, any day. Maybe this coming Friday. I wish anybody can submit their names. Give me your number, I will call you. I will be the one to call you live on air. So we debate it. To let you understand that you are the architect of your own downfall. You are the master planner of your own stupidity. Something a white man created to benefit him. Britain did not create Nigeria to benefit you. They created Nigeria out of a business, out of a company called Royal Niger Company. It's a company, it's a business for them. They didn't create the zoo Nigeria because they love you. And yet, they are not in the National Assembly, but you are saying, no, we don't want that thing a white man made to be touched. Please leave it. It's white man, they are God, leave them. And Chukwu Gabiam in heaven is saying, okay, if that's what you're saying, and then I'll make them God. Because out of what you say, a lot of things can come to pass. It's prophetic. Some of you inadvertently are worshiping white people as your God. Every day, every blessed day. And God in heaven will say, okay, if that is what you're doing, okay, then I might as well make them God. That is why you are so inferior that you even recognized your inferiority complex. That is why, since it was a white man that built Nigeria, let no black man touch it. Fools everywhere. Obasanjo have spoken. They have now responded. They have insulted Obasanjo. They have said that Obasanjo is one of those that have descended from lofty heights of commander-in-chief to the low level of divider-in-chief. Divider-in-chief because Fulani is everywhere. Divider-in-chief because they cannot fight the insurgency that they themselves started. Divider-in-chief for saying the truth. As I said, I only have respect, I'm being honest with you, for only two heads of state in the zoo called Nigeria. One is Abacha. One is Obasanjo, because Abacha was the visual representation of the wickedness and evil of an average Nigeria. I'm being honest with you. The other is Obasanjo. Obasanjo understands the zoo and how it functions. He knows it very well. He's a neo-colonialist agent. Of course, an agent of neo-colonialists. He knows that very well. He's an agent. He knows those he's working for, and I know that he knows that I know those he's working for. But I can't say it live on air. He is not the divider-in-chief. And they went as far as saying that they're now going to probe him. But nobody has probed Halliburton involving Aisha Buhari. I don't know if people in the zoo are human beings, or I can't understand. I keep asking God, who are these people? Why don't you investigate Halliburton? Did Aisha Buhari's name not come up? Can Aisha travel to the US? Anyway, some of you will listen to your Daddy Geos next week. Maybe on Wednesday, you can pay your tithe and listen to Daddy Geo. But they're not insulting Obasanjo. And I'm now going to tell Obasanjo what to do. Obasanjo is highly connected. He's an agent of most of the top-level, spy agencies around the world. He's a valued agent for them. Obasanjo knows what to do. If he feels sufficiently insulted, that is, by the statement that came out of Asorok, all Obasanjo needs to do is to reveal the identity of the idiot in Asorok and end this misery for everyone. But I know that he will not be able to do it, because those that Obasanjo works for do not want the zoo to collapse. Because the zoo is a monument to the ignorance of black people in Africa. That's why they call it Giant of Africa. It is a monument to the idiocy of African people. So they want to keep the zoo one. And Obasanjo is the agent. Maybe that's why he will not go that far. But if I'm him, don't come out yourself to do it. Go and tell somebody somewhere, and somebody, Obasanjo is very crafty, tell somebody, let them reveal the identity of the idiot, and everything is over. But the more you know the identity of the fool and you keep quiet, then what he said comes to pass. I had a sip of water. Something the mask wearer in Asorok cannot do. Or Obasanjo, you cannot eat your cake and have it. If you're sufficiently upset about what is happening in the zoo, there is no, don't wait for 2023. Just reveal the identity of the idiot. Asha's boyfriend, and it's over. You see, all this nonsense, Fulani headsmen, Mietiala in my village, there is no light, there is no water. You see, our God is miraculous. All your problems will be solved. All you people will need to do is to rise up, acquire some courage, and say, please, that idiot in Asorok, take off your mask, who are you? And all your worries will be over. All this nonsense will come to an end. But I know that for some of you, you don't want that to happen because of your greedy, envious nature. You wouldn't want it to happen, would you? So the word was that Nnamdi has been right all along. If he's right about the person in Asorok, that means that he's also right about Biafra. Then we must as well allow Biafra to come. Don't you understand that? Do you not understand? That's what they're afraid of. Now, because of what Obasanjo said, in keeping with what Fulani does, Fulani works on intimidation and blackmail. The exact nature of a saboteur, blackmail, man, if you do this, I'll do this. If you do this, I'm going to, remember, I'm going to do this if you do this. Idiots. That is why I always challenge every idiot who is a blackmailer. That thing you claim you know you have, bring it in the open. Let us see it. This is what Fulani does. Do you know what they have done today? Some of you don't know this. Do you know what they have done today? Account for the $16 billion power fund, privatization of assets. APC tells Obasanjo and Atiku that is what they do best. They are driving, they are making your lives a misery. The zoo is a failed state. There is insurgency everywhere. There is breakdown of law and order. The zoo has collapsed. They know it. Now, what they're saying to Obasanjo is, don't say this again. If you say this again, that is this $16 billion power fund, privatization of assets, we are going to probe you. Do you see how they made it possible? When people are saying, oh, how Obasanjo is there, how are you going to have an impostor in Asoro, and Obasanjo will not say anything? He cannot now. If he says something, they're saying they're going to probe him. And if they probe him and arrest him and put him in jail, Britain will say, oh, don't worry, keep him there. Britain will speak to America and say to America, you know, after the Second World War, we decided that every area we colonize is our natural sphere of influence. We own Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to Britain. Some of you think you are citizens of Nigeria. I feel sorry for you. You are a bunch of experimental lab animals in a forest somewhere in West Africa. You belong to Britain, if you don't know. All it takes is, if they arrest Obasanjo tomorrow, Britain will tell America, please don't intervene, and that will be the end of it. Who do you think excluded Biafra from the list of countries that experienced genocide? It's Britain. Who do you think did it? It's Britain now, and our money. The worst thing is that they use the money coming from oil and gas to bribe all the heads of these agencies to exclude Biafra. And an idiot will be somewhere around the creeks of Biafra land, croaking like a toad. People, they don't know history. They don't understand anything. They don't even know how many enemies they have. They don't know who is holding them down. They come out, open their mouth, and be talking pure rubbish. Look at Obasanjo. They're now telling him, if you say one more thing, we are going to probe the $16 billion power fund, the privatization of assets, and every other thing you may have done wrong. But nobody have never come across any intellectual commentator calling for a probe of Aisha Buhari's involvement in Halliburton bribery scandal. Nobody can say it. Only IPOB can. Only Nnamdi can on Radio Biafra. Who else can? When I was in the zoo in the court, I called Buhari a madman in his own court before the idiot died. When I was in my father's compound, I said to the whole world that idiot in Asorok is not Buhari. I said it before the whole world. So it doesn't matter where I am. I've been saying I am always this way. I tell you the truth all the time, regardless. Obasanjo, they say they're coming after him. That is the zoo. Blackmail upon blackmail. Maybe that's where the Fulefus land the rubbish that they are practicing. Idiots. Look at them, they're trying to blackmail Obasanjo from speaking the truth. Because the zoo, of course, is a failed state. Why won't it fail? Why won't the zoo fail? And some of you, you keep asking silly questions. They tell us every time he's on radio, he's talking. I am on radio talking. And during my time on radio talking, for the very first time in living memory, prominent leaders from the North Central Geopolitical Zone, Middle Belt, have announced their exit from Arewa because they listen to us, because they have common sense, because now they can understand an Igbo man is not their problem. Now they know by virtue of our broadcast on this platform, now they understand the true intentions of Fulani Janjaweed. Now they know. The more you keep looking at Biafra, fighting an Igbo man, the more they consume you, the more they swallow you alive. It is very clear to them. Another achievement by us. If you don't know, let me tell you. We have opened the eyes and ears of people. Before we came, nothing like this ever happened. Fulani got away with murder. But for the very first time, Middle Belts are breaking away, and rightfully so. Now they understand Igbo man is not their problem. Have they not apologized? Have they not apologized? Is it not very clear? And the same way they have apologized in the Middle Belt, I want Edwin Clark of Pandev and some of those traitors that call themselves Niger Delta South, the traitors against Biafra, traitors against Biafra. I need them to come out and apologize, starting from Edwin Clark. Edwin Clark must apologize. He was a traitor during the war. Middle Belt have apologized. They have apologized in the middle. Edwin Clark must apologize. That was how they gave him Federal Commissioner of Information, because he sold his people. Has the problems gone away? I told you before that Efulefus don't reason very well. It doesn't matter how old they are. Efulefus do not reason. Their brain cells do not function very well. The same problem that Ojukwu was fighting for and proclaiming Biafra is the same problem that Edwin Clark that betrayed Biafra is seeing today after 50-something years. Do you see that if traitors don't have brain, Efulefu has no brain, Sabo, there is no brain in their skull. After 50-something years, that thing that his brother Ojukwu saw and that thing that Frank Opigo saw, and a German, and named us Biafra. The same thing that Edwin Clark saw and became a traitor to his people by selling our secrets to the Janjaweed. That same thing he's now campaigning for after 50-something years. Do you see how foolish traitors are? I'm not insulting him as an old man, but I'm telling him the truth. He must apologize. Middle Belt have now apologized to the Igbo, saying we are sorry for what we did. We were deceived. Which people made it possible? IPOB? Is it you? Did you make it possible? Or you think that people don't listen to our broadcast? Is that what you think? And they don't reason? They don't think very well? I commend them in the Middle Belt. The leaders announced the formation of the North Central People's Forum as a platform to fight insecurity and about time. And we support them 100%. The same way we supported Amoteku, the same way we support them. People must be free. Our agenda is not just people who accused us before of being very selfish, being very parochial. Our interest is only on Biafra. Now you can see it very well. We want everybody to be free. Because if we are not all free, nobody is free. I want everybody in that cage that Britain wove together to be free. Now you understand it. Now you understand it. Fulani will come and divide you in broad daylight, tell you junk, and you accept it. The same thing that Britain did, divide and rule. That's what they are doing. Oh, if you make noise, I will go to your house of assembly. I will overthrow you. I can do it in Imo State with your head your hand. Remove your head your hand in broad daylight. For no justifiable reason, Ihad Yohan was removed from office. And everybody kept quiet. And they say, oh, we have succeeded. We can do anything we like. And once they grab an Efulefu and make him whatever rubbish the idiot wants to be, the idiot starts to sing Fulani praises. And you see Hope Uzodinma, the Supreme Court governor. After maybe 40, 50 years now, you see the idiot. He will start fighting marginalization. But of course, by then we'll be gone. And who knows, the idiot will be tried and hanged somewhere. Fools everywhere. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the group said, in spite of the abundant mineral and human resources in the zone, the North Central was bedeviled by vices like kidnapping, banditry, and other forms of criminality. Who are those criminals? Is there any TV group of bandits? Is there any Bachama group of bandits? Do we have any Nupe group of bandits? It's always Fulani. And the same Fulani are in charge of police, in charge of the army, in charge of Asorok, in charge of everything. The same people. In charge of customs, bringing in arms. Now you understand it, don't you? Every Sabo you see, every saboteur, every idiot, even those that will rise up in the Middle Belt, after many years now, they'll realize their mistakes. And say, oh God, forgive me. Things were different then. After 50-something years, Middle Belt have apologized. And that is why they can come out in the open and say, we are now breaking away from the North. Because they know they have our support. They know that very well. If you want to be free, you have our support. It's not about oil or gas. Any idiot can take the useless oil. In fact, the whole world is not even buying oil and gas anymore. Only an animal will believe that oil and gas will sustain him or her in time to come. Rentier economy. I commend the Middle Belt for their bravery, and they must stand on it. Of course, with the likes of Jeremiah Hussein and all the rest of them, they'll stand on it. These are hardened military men. They'll stand on it. Fulani cannot do anything. I'm telling you, they can't do nothing. What they are afraid of is the coming together of our people. If the Middle Belt, the East and the West can be courageous enough, not just issuing useless, meaningless praise statements, to come together and say Fulani, a piece of Fulani will run away, they will do nothing. They are using their classic deal. They will now go to their villages and raise some other, give some other people money, give them houses in Abuja and say, go and challenge Jerry Hussein. Go and challenge David Bamigoye. Go and challenge Olusola Akomode. Go and challenge them. Tell them what they're doing. They want to divide our country. Divide a country built by a white person. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you insane? We are preaching the gospel of heaven. This is Radio Biafra, 11 minutes past 8 p.m. in the blessed land that Chukwuka Biama made for the habitation of Biafrans, not from Yetiala. Not from Yetiala. Look at them. Ebonyi State. Umahi, you're the president, yes. Okay, see, you want to be president, yes. Every idiot president. And they are busy working against their people. They are busy allowing foreign police commissioners, foreign DSS director, foreign army commandant to be terrorizing their own people, because this idiot has the selfish interest of being a president. And they are very clever. They pay all these brown envelope newspapers. They give them money. They be writing, it's our turn, 2023, equity and justice, fairness and all that rubbish. The only equity and justice we deserve is freedom. Not another idiot in Asorok. That will make no difference. I commend Middle Belt, please. Thank you very much for this. It's very bold. A very bold move. We support you anytime, any day. You call upon us, we'll be there for you. Not those people that have nobody following them. It's IPOB. You call upon us and we'll support you anytime, any day. And then Fulani will leave you alone. All these banditry, killings in southern Kaduna can come to an end within 7 days. Only 7 days it will end. Only 7 days it will disappear. All we need to do is to come together and say to hell with Fulani, and they are gone. And people are busy messing themselves up, telling me the intellectuals talking rubbish. I may not belong to, I am a defender of Nigeria. Nigeria, did your grandfather build Nigeria? You idiot talking about, so I'm a patriot. Patriot of where? So, upon the whole school you went to, a white man came down and erased your history before 1914, and you are happy. Oh, Chineke, my brother, this is black people. Black. Unbelievable. That is what they do. It is high time also, if they want to show us how serious they are. I think that Samuel Otom can do it, the governor of Benue State, can lead the Middle Belt governors to stop attending meetings with Northern Governors Forum. Pull away from it, and the whole rubbish, all this Fulani garbage will come to an end. It's not difficult. They can't do you anything. You are an executive governor. You are immune from persecution. All you need to do from the Middle Belt is to come together and to say, enough is enough. We are pulling away from the Northern Governors Forum. This Fulani garbage will come to an end. This Fulani terrorism will come to an end. Don't you understand it? You know what they're going to do now? They're now going to go through the back to start begging them. Oh, we can be one. We can stop the killings in southern Kaduna. We can stop the banditry and the lawlessness. Let's be one. You know, one North, according to Ahmadu Bello. Let's not stay one. That's what they're going to deceive you. The same thing they did to Hausa people. Today, Hausa doesn't exist. Hausa, I don't mention them because they don't exist. They foolishly gave their land away to Fulani. And today they don't exist. The same thing that some idiots, some Filefus want to do in Biafra land, and we are saying no to it. It doesn't matter how many fake accounts you open. It doesn't matter how much Loreto Noche has given to you. It doesn't matter the garbage that comes out of your mouth. We are unstoppable. We are going to teach all of you a lesson that you will tell, if at all you are alive, to tell your children about. And there are mad people everywhere. And I want to ask, things are happening in the zoo. I am so happy. I cannot thank Chukwukika Biama enough. I cannot thank Almighty God in heaven enough. The Middle Belt are now breaking away, forming their own socio-cultural group away from Arewa. I want the governors, please, to follow suit. Governors of the Middle Belt, rise up to the occasion and do something decent. And today, I am glad and very happy to report, very, very happy and pleased that in London, these are the Oduduwa people I want to work with. These are the people who are serious. People talking about freedom, not those talking about let's amend, let's restructure. If we restructure here and we restructure and they're playing and messing about with you. They are playing and messing about with you. Oduduwa Republic campaign was in London today, 13th of September. I have seen the pictures and I want those pictures posted, please, that the world may see it. These are the people we should be talking, and I know they're serious. For once, I now know they are very, very serious. And these are the people to talk to and to work with. They want freedom. All that Nigeria nonsense, one Nigeria is garbage. You are a slave and a prisoner to any Fulani Janjaweed that comes in. That money, your people will look at Obasanjo was there. Are you telling me that an Igbo president is going to do more than what Obasanjo did? That's rubbish. Fulani won't let you. They won't allow you. If you talk too much, they poison you or they assassinate you. Britain is there. Britain is the gatekeeper to keep you away. If you don't know, let me tell you. People say, why I'm saying it now? Because they will never love you. Are they going to love you? Will they? People that kept away your name from the list of countries that suffered genocide, despite starving you to death, over 5 million people dead, they still took off your name from the list of people that suffered genocide. Are you telling me they will ever love you? When is that love going to happen? When? I keep asking you. When will it happen? I was even hoping that Conservative Party that is a little bit more humane will do something, but of course the hatred for Biafra is overwhelming. Their hatred, they know something that some of us know, but you as a redundant if you don't know it. Ask yourself why. Why would Britain, swear that this country will never emerge? There will be no Biafra. Ask yourself why. What did we do to Britain that others didn't do to them? They swore that Biafra can never emerge over their dead body. And that is why God is dividing them. We watch and see what is going to happen to Britain. And I said to them many, many years ago, Britain will be divided. Every country will be on their own in Britain. And the funniest thing is that I will tell them that God is doing this to you because of your role in Biafra. They won't believe it. They'll say, these are a bunch of niggers. But that is the reason why Britain will be divided. And you will see it. And I don't say things for saying sake. When it happens, I would refer you to this program. I'll say, remember when I said it? I commend the Oduduwa Republic agitators for rallying today in London. It is commendable. They must come out. Because if you have pride, if you have a little bit of shame, you must understand that coming out and campaigning for your freedom is the best thing you can ever do to yourself. Very, very important. We must proceed. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we're there, and the whole world, of course, is listening. I want the Middle Belt governors to please break away. You must break away, because if you do not break away, what you will have is the headline: police and Fulani headsmen working together against themselves. It's there. Police, Fulani headsmen agree to work together. Some of you have forgotten. I like to go back once in a while. There was a news in circulation today. People going back 3 months ago to remind you, because our brain, we forget. In this era of Big Brother and Indomie, people forget very easily. Fulani headsmen working with the police. Terrorists working with police. And this is the country you want to be in? terrorists working with the police, whereas the police are busy hunting down, arresting and abducting innocent people. And all of you are quiet because you're protecting what a white man created, not your grandfather. All of you claim, I'm a proud African. You people are hypocrites. If you're a proud African, you'll be proud of what your ancestors created. You'll be proud of Biafra, you'll be proud of Oduduwa, you'll be proud of Jukun, you'll be proud of all the ancient kingdoms that we had. If at all you claim you are proud, but your pride stops at 1914 when you were created by a drunken white woman. You claim you're proud of Africa. I'm proud. I'm a proud African. Proud. So you're not proud of Africa from before 1914. You're only proud from 1914 when the white man came. Your stupidity has no cure. I'm telling you the truth. These are the people. The state apparatus itself in the zoo is an architecture of terrorism. Everything was built to sustain Fulani terrorism. To drive you away from your land. So that the Janjaweed may occupy it. With the help of some Ifulefus within. That is why it is very, very clear. The whole world understands this. That efforts have been made in the past to rid the zoo of Janjaweedism, to rid them of Fulani banditry. But they said no. Fulani said no to it. They don't want it to happen. Why don't they want it to happen? Today we are going to reveal the reason why they don't want it to happen. And I want people to follow what we are giving you sequentially, line after line. Bring out your pen and your paper. And I want you to post this. It's a screenshot that somebody made. And I want it posted. We were supposed to gas the insurgents to get access to Chibok girls and get them while the insurgents were sleeping. We shared this intelligence with the Nigerian army. And when we were ready to activate the plan, we scanned the area where the girls were kept by the insurgents and discovered that these terrorists had acquired gas protection masks. We lost trust in the Nigerian government and returned to our country. American military report. I want Efulefus to open their ears. All these betrayers, your Hanese, Igbo governors, open your ears very well to understand how people with an agenda. Fulani has a clear-cut agenda to conquer you. But in your foolishness, they have dangled presidency. They come to Mahi, President Umahi, Excellency, idiot, jumping up and down. They come to Abia, President Ibas, here you are, idiots, jumping up. All of you fools. I want you to reason very well. Fulani has a plan. That was the reason why, to tell you that they are all working together. Boko Haram, all the rest of them, they are one. They are together in this. Do you know that America came to release Chibok girls? What about the tension? Under Jonathan, they came and they outlined their plans. I want you to be writing what I'm saying down, please. You don't write. Write it down, please. Pay very close attention. They came because international protocol requires that you must inform the host country what you're going to do. They were invited by the government, come and rescue these girls. They said we are going to gas them, which is what happens during hostage rescue. Do you know that the same Nigerian army of Buratai, Operation Python Dance, we are going to fight insurgents, we will declare state of emergency. These are the idiots, his own army, his own commanders, now told Boko Haram that America is coming, they are going to gas you. Now, when America used their drones and their spy satellites to look at them, Boko Haram is now wearing gas mask. So American gas cannot, in fact, you even gave them gas masks to start with. The same Nigerian army of Buratai. Telling you about one Nigeria, we are doing Operation Python Dance to save one night, to keep Nigeria's territorial integrity. Some of you idiots don't know that when he was saying that rubbish, he was saying one Nigeria for the habitation and occupation of the Fulani, because some of you are fools, you don't know. You're not learned. You may stitch one or two sentences together in English. That doesn't mean you're learned. You're foolish. You cannot reason very well. When Buratai was saying, we are doing Operation Python Dance, Operation Crocodile Smile, all that rubbish, they are doing it because they want to keep the powder dry for Fulani to take you over. It's a very simple game. It's a very simple trick. If Buratai had believed in one Nigeria, why did he pass information to Boko Haram, telling them that America is coming with a gas agents that put them to sleep? Now you understand, don't you? You and your foolish one Nigeria. All of you idiots, some of you editors of newspapers, all of you, because you're in Abuja enjoying, they bring the money you because you're a black man. You are evil. They bring money, you share, you divide amongst yourselves, and you're eating large, sending your kids for summer holidays in America, in Europe. You're having fun, and others are dying that they're suffering. Others are dying and suffering because of your treachery, because of your longer throat, because of your primitive disposition to wealth acquisition. It doesn't matter from where you will collect and betray your conscience. Please publish it on my page. We were supposed to gas it's everywhere, but I'll probably put it on my page. Facebook can suppress it. They can even allow only 2 or 3 reactions. That is their business. But people are reading it. All of you that are suppressing your posts, we are reading everything you're writing. We read it every day. So don't think it makes any difference. If you like, get only 1 or 2 likes. People are reading and commenting. It's Facebook that wrote that. Once they see you and they feel that you're antagonizing the zoo, Nigeria, the money they were given, they have to do their work. That's what they're doing. Zuckerberg, that's what his job is to acquire, to accumulate as much money as possible. Where he's going to, if he's going to his grave with it, I have no idea. We were supposed to gas them, but when we got there, Boko Haram had gas masks. Who gave it to them? This information, listen to how human beings reason. You know, we blacks, we don't reason very well. You know, our brain is not that correct. Listen to how people reason. We came to rescue Chibok girls. Boko Haram, we are hosting them, holding them hostage. Boko Haram, we are holding the girls hostage, Chibok girls, yes? And we came to rescue them. When we arrived, we shared our intelligence with Nigerian army. We told Nigerian army what we are going to do. The same Nigerian army in Enugu shooting people, unarmed people. Listen very carefully. The same Nigerian army in Enugu attacking unarmed people that did nothing. The same army, America told, the U.S. Special Forces told them, this is how we are going to rescue your girls. And that evening, the same Buratai's army told Boko Haram that the U.S. is coming. Please put on your face mask. In fact, supplied them with gas masks, and they put it on. So that when America now flew their drone to monitor the environment, they saw that Boko Haram now had gas masks on. It was over. That was when Obama decided that, in fact, it was even Obama who planned it. So that he can remove Jonathan. Saying the army is incompetent under Jonathan. But the same Fulani army. The same Fulani army that any stupid Igbo president, so-called, will still encounter. The same Fulani army. I remember when, I hope if you're absorbing something tonight, your brains are open, you are learning something. I just want to let you understand that your God-given envious nature and stupidity cannot stop intelligence from prevailing. People who are intelligent, you cannot, no matter what you do, you cannot convince people who are more intelligent than you are. I want to ask Buratai, wherever he is, the idiot is no longer coming back, of course, wherever he is, who told Boko Haram? This is a very simple question that any sensible group of people should be asking. Who warned Boko Haram that America was coming with a gas agent to put them to sleep? Because the intelligence was shared with only the Nigerian army. So who told Boko Haram? Are you now saying that Americans phoned Boko Haram and told them? So you're not saying that U.S. army had Boko Haram numbers to contact them? Is that what you're saying? Do you see how sensible people reason? Do you see how, if you have brain in your skull, how you should be reasoning? The question is, who told Boko Haram? Only 2 people knew. U.S. Special Forces and Nigerian army hierarchy. Who told Boko Haram out of the 2? This is the so-called army shooting innocent people in Enugu. The same people telling about one Nigeria. But they're the ones giving Boko Haram information. The same Boko Haram killing our people that our people are canon for that. They prepare them, they put them out in the war front and they kill all of them. And they bury them in the north against our culture and our way of life. Now you understand. Maybe after tonight, if Lefus can now reason properly. And the same people telling you, we are fighting, we are doing all we can. I want this very video, some of you have seen it before. You hear them celebrating. Nobody, army did not storm the place. Air Force did not bomb them. I want to let the world understand, especially an Igbo, the worst flavor in life is an Igbo flavor. They are the worst of the worst. As somebody wrote a while ago, they seem to be possessed by the devil. An Igbo flavor is the worst of them all. All you idiots writing nonsense in this day newspaper, writing garbage in nation newspaper. I want to play a clip for you. This is a celebration of, should I say, I wouldn't call them militia. These are terrorists and bandits in the north celebrating with their women. I want that video to be posted. They rated, oh no, he's not here. It's a video from Chad. He's from Niger Republic, as usual. As usual. But this happened in the core north. If you are a middle belt governor and you don't want to break away from the Northern Governors Forum, this is the reason why you should break away. I want to prove to the whole world tonight, those who are listening, those who can reason, those who can discern, those who can interpret, those who can digest complex information, that this is what they want to do to all of you. They are killing innocent people, terrorizing, using DSS. You don't know that the real terrorists are coming from the back. They are yet yalla, they are well armed, they are prepared. Listen, I want to play it for some of you, so you would hear what terrorism and banditry sounds like in the north. And then you ask yourself, why are you killing unarmed people in the south? Why are you storming people's homes in Anambra and abducting them? DSS, you have not seen these people? That is the question I want to ask DSS tonight. Have you not seen them? I want to play the clip for you. Please, can somebody please post it on my page as well, please? The list of this. Listen. Oh, drama. Can you get your women? Yes. In the north. In northern Nigeria. Hear them. And the women are jumping up and down. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. They are jumping up and down. Firing automatic weapons. DSS cannot see them. Nigerian Army cannot see them. 82 Division will not see them. 95 Division, Airborne Brigade, Assault. Those that killed Ghana in Benue cannot see them. There is nothing like amnesty. These are armed bandits to the core. These are Fulani. They have come to kill you and take over your land. As you are doing your one Nigeria idiotic. In fact, let me try and revise what I said before. We are going to make a list of all the Fulefus. And let me make it very clear, please. Anytime you see Miyetiala terrorists in your village, direct them to the house of all these Fulefus. Let them go and occupy their villages. Maybe I can allow that. So they will see what it's like. Because this nonsense is too much. These are armed gun, these are gunmen, these are insurgents in the north, all over the place. Nobody is abducted. Look at their wives celebrating. You know that thing they do, all that rubbish. Look at their wives celebrating in public with them with their assault rifles. If we try this thing in Biafra land, oh my, you will see all the intellectual idiots in the world. They will be at the forefront, castigating, writing rubbish. Now, where are they when these things are happening in the north? Where are you people? Look at those who are coming to take your land from you. Their women are in support of them. Look at how they are celebrating. Look at what they are doing. What does that tell you about your useless, wretched, gutter intellectualism? Because you can write two sentences or stitch them together, you think you're an intellectual. You are a fool. You're a born idiot. You're a fool. Look at them in the north. These are the people fighting terrorism. Britain will not say anything because Britain wants your life to be, they want you to be a slave forever and ever. They created Nigeria. Who are you to break it? They gave you a very wonderful name, nigger, and you're answering it with pride. and you claim you went to school. You are a fool. Now, this is the final confirmation. I'll play it for you. So you will listen, and listen very, very well, because some of you are daft to the core. I want to play it that you may be able to listen. Some of you should listen very, very carefully, please. Listen very, very carefully, because you don't know anything. You don't know nothing. Absolutely nothing. Listen to what is happening in the zoo about your so-called Buratai, hard man. I remember people saying, when he look at Tinubu, people without shame. There is no shame before their eyes. The Tinubu sold this wretched dead man to you. They knew he was a dictator, incompetent, foolish, diseased, and dying. They gave him to you. Let us hear what is happening. Please post this other video as well, that the world may know, so that Britain will know, that we know what they know, that they are supporting terrorists, bunch of terrorists. Let us listen, please. Let us listen, and listen very, very carefully to what at this broadcast tonight. People, the world is listening very attentively. Please hear this.
And then mop up one area in the south was the start, and after that was done, mop up in the north. The division would follow behind, occupy terrain. We would train the division in situ in defensive positions, etc. But we were never...
I told you that the zoo, you forget the math Fulani is making. I told you that they have never won any war on their own before. They always rely on Daddy Britain. Daddy Britain, come on. You know the same way you have your Daddy G.O. is how the Fulani sees Britain as their Daddy Britain. They go to Britain and they beg them, please, Daddy, we are suffering. That Igbo man has come again. Oh, these Biafran people, Daddy, do something. Britain will say, oh, don't worry. My favorite idiot in the zoo, don't worry, I'm coming. My favorite animal, don't worry, I'm coming. And let me talk to America about it. These are the things you don't know. Do you know that they went to South Africa to go and hire white mercenaries in the Ocha Oyibo, white, to come and fight for them? This is army, our boys, in Sambisa, our boys. These are your boys killing innocent, unarmed people. Look at, this man is now telling you from South Africa that Buhari stopped them from eliminating Boko Haram. I want every Efulefu to listen. All those idiots answering Biafran names, writing rubbish on social media, I want them to listen very, very carefully. How foolish they are. Do you know that Buhari, when you sell your people, the governors, I want all these useless evil governors to listen carefully, and Ohaneze. Buhari, when he was alive, stopped the decimation of Boko Haram, a terrorist group known for killing people because they are his people. Have you learned anything at all? Or you are still very foolish, hoping on presidency they have promised you, joining your APC? They call Daddy Britain, Daddy come. Daddy Boban has come again, or Daddy Britain come, are you there? And Daddy Britain will come. I say, what is the problem? Okay, Facebook, start banning them, ban them immediately. Amnesty, stop writing about them. ICC in The Hague, no, don't bring up that Biafran case anymore. The file should be closed. And they'll go to America and they say to Trump, please, we are telling you, we are begging you, don't allow them here again anymore. Daddy Britain has acted. They now went to South Africa. They went to South Africa to go and beg white people to help them fight Boko Haram. The whites came and Buhari stopped them. I told you before, this army cannot fight the zoo army. They are cowards. They cannot fight. Because as you are in the war front fighting, your village is being taken over by Fulani. The same man giving you orders at the war front, asking you, please go and fight, go and defend your country. Meanwhile, he is giving information to terrorists to go and take over your village. There are useless black people without brain. As you are fighting in the Nigerian army, your village is going. They are taking over your village. Let us listen to the man, to what he has to say. Listen, please, very, very attentively. Listen.
allowed to execute the entire operation. So in 1 month, we took back terrain larger than Belgium from Boko Haram. We were not allowed to finish because it came at a time when governments were in the process of changing. I think President Jonathan's government possibly saw the entire Boko Haram contract, if we call it that, almost as a last gasp in order to regain popularity. The incoming president...
Jonathan was desperate. Jonathan was so desperate. So they removed the Ihejirika. I want you to pay attention. Ihejirika is a Biafran and Igbo man, a general with pedigree, was decimating Boko Haram. I want people, those of you who conspired during Operation Python Dance, I don't even know if they, once the devil has gone into an traitor, once the devil has gone into them, it blocks their ears and their thinking faculties. They can no longer reason very well. I want to ask you this question. Ihejirika was fighting insurgency, defeating Boko Haram. Boko Haram were killing people, bombing everywhere. Sultan of Sokoto, Buhari, all of them ganged up. Go and do your research. Sabo, go and do research. They ganged up and they said to Jonathan, you must remove Ihejirika. And Jonathan duly obliged. Of course, he's a coward. He obliged and removed Ihejirika. And as soon as he removed Ihejirika, Boko Haram was everywhere. They now went to South Africa to go and bring white people. Jonathan signed the contract, hoping that all that they will help him to get it. Because Obama said, if he cannot defeat Boko Haram, why should he go back again? So Jonathan was very desperate. But the handwriting was on the wall. Because every Fulani general in the army was a Boko Haram. They were supporting them. But some of you idiots don't know this. You think they're fighting them? Of course not. Of course they're not fighting them. Go and look at what is happening in the north. This man, listen carefully. Please post this very clip on my wall. The reason why I'm touching on is I need people to understand the depth of hypocrisy in the zoo. The depth of that the Nigerian army cannot fight any war. The only thing they do very well is to kill civilians because Britain will defend them. They can come to your village and massacre everybody in your village. Believe you me, no foreign paper will report it because Britain will make sure that nobody hears about it. They are only good at killing civilians. Abducted Nigerian army, they are cowards. They cannot fight. They only fight unarmed civilians. Once you're armed, they cannot come to you. They are cowards, I'm telling you the truth. And who are the boys there? I don't know, Biafran boys, people from the South and Middle Belt. Tell me any Fulani at the war front as an infantry. So if infantry at the war front fighting Boko Haram, name one Fulani soldier you have seen before. Is it because some of our people answer northern names and go into the army? Are you following what I'm teaching you this evening? Listen to white, the hired Oyibo to fight Boko Haram. The army, Burata, you see Buratai. You are busy killing unarmed civilians, doing Python dance, Buratai, General, Lieutenant General. You see Punch News hailing him, Yoruba media, hailing him General, for killing civilians. Kill civilians, unarmed people. Whereas when they encountered armed people, they went to South Africa to go and hire white man. Black people, this UG, black to the core, and useless. Blacks are useless. Let me listen to the man. Listen, please.
President Buhari was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract. Could you name that?
Are you listening? Was supported by Obama. Obama is a supporter of terrorism. This is not somebody from IPOB. This is not a black man. He's a white man from South Africa. He's a mercenary. Obama was in support. Obama was in support of Boko Haram terrorism because he wanted Jonathan to go. Do you understand me? Listen to the man once again, please. I want to rewind this little bit so you can understand it. You can. I wish I'm teaching only white people that will understand this. But we black people, our brain is not that great. You understand that very well. You see sand, very porous. It goes through here, comes out to the side. We are not very, very smart. We are not smart people at all. Listen, the man said, Buhari was supported by a foreign government. Who is that? Is Obama. Obama is a supporter of terrorism. If you don't know, you morons. Listen.
Fully supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States, and they had actually funded
Obama, the terrorist. He's an African. He's from Kenya. Obama is he's a black man. Useless. I would rather have a Trump anytime, any day that will look at me in the eye and say you're a black monkey so I can go and change my life for the better than an idiot massaging you and funding terrorists to kill you. Obama. Obama. Are you listening? Are you people following? This is your one Nigeria. These are the stakeholders, these are the people sucking oil and gas from Biafra land. Corrupt to the core, corrupt to the core. He's a black man, of course he's corrupt. This Soji the corrupt, of course he's corrupt to the core. Corrupt. Now you understand it, don't you? They wanted Jonathan out. From a white man, Obama will rot in hell. All of you idiots who are blacks in America hoping to vote for Democrats, I feel sorry for all of you. Before you talk any garbage, who we are holding you as slaves? Is it not Democratic Party in America? Who are the slave owners in America? It's not Democratic Party. The Democrats in America, are they not the slave owners? Who fought for you to be free? Was it not a Republican president? You fools that don't go to school, you don't read, you don't study history, you know nothing. Listen, please.
President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US.
Campaign manager for Buhari came from the US. Should I go? Please publish this very thing. Let me listen to it very carefully. Listen, spend your data and listen to it. The campaign manager of Buhari is from the US. And for us to be able to make US to start to ask questions about the killing of people tells you how far we have gone. Do you know that is the reason why the State Department in America, when I tell them about Biafra, the killing of people, they tell no, because Buhari is their government. Britain did a very good job. Do you understand it? Hey, I wish some of these people can see what we see. I wish they can see what we see. And I'm happy to say that somebody like Obadiah, my Lafia, who is being persecuted in broad daylight for no offense known to law. Fulani people are killing his people. He is the one being invited by DSS. Sometimes I sit down and I wonder, and I ask God in heaven, and I kneel down, and I say to God in heaven, have you seen black people, what they are doing? Do you see the way they reason? Are you sure they're human beings? Because if they are, how come many people are not rising up to say that the persecution of Obadiah, my Lafia, is wrong? His people are being killed by Fulani headsmen. Fulani terrorists. The same Fulani terrorists who are in the army today. I don't know what planet Nigerians, Nigerians inhabit, but for goodness sake, the more I look at them, the more I see them, the more disgusted I become, the more revulsed I become. The more I hate black. The reason why I despise black people is because of Nigerians. Nigger people in the zoo created by Britain, the way they reason, I'm telling you, it gives me, it kills me. I want to ask all of you from Nigeria, what is the crime of Obadiah, my Lafia? They are killing his people, and he spoke out and said these killings must stop. And DSS are now inviting him. Every 2 days they invite him. But Mieti Allah, who is there saying, we have taken over Benue, we conquered Benue, we own it as right of war. No one has ever invited him. And none of you are quiet in the zoo. This is why I hate some of you fools. You Nigerians, you have no brain, you cannot reason very well. That's why you're black. That is why you have no electricity, you have no running water, you have no good roads, you have no health care. Do you think it's a coincidence? You don't have all these things because you are foolish. Foolish, I'm telling you the truth. All you can do is to maybe open a few more fake accounts with Igbo names and be talking rubbish. I don't even know why Dr. Ogweleka bothers to respond to some of these idiots. You think that Igbo people, of course they are not. These are fake fools, idiots, under the payroll of Loretta Nochie, the harlot in Asorok, human trafficker of Edo girls into Italy. Can you see them persecuting Dr. Mailafia? What is it? I want to ask DSS. This man you keep inviting every Monday, every Tuesday, every Monday. What is it? What did he do wrong? They cannot answer it. And the idiot inviting him is probably from Middlebelt or from somewhere else. They are using the idiot. He wants to answer director of DSS in Jos. Dr. Malafia, we are inviting you. Come and clarify what you said. Have you ever invited Miet Yala killing people and naming an emirate in Jos? All of you idiotic Nigerians, I'm asking you this question. Has your useless DSS ever invited Miet Yala for killing people? Oh dear, whichever devil went into Lugard and Flora Shaw to create you people, I'm telling you, that devil is very strong. I said it last week and I'll say it again. If you give me Satan and you give me black people, I'll choose Satan. At least you understand where Satan is coming from. But black people, they come as human beings, but inside their brain is just completely empty, talking rubbish every day. I want to ask you Nigerians again, you zoo animals, what is the crime of Obadiah Mailafia? Why DSS keeps inviting him every 2 days? Did he kill anyone? No. Then why are you inviting him then? Oh, maybe it's Britain that is telling them to invite him. He wrote a very moving piece which was circulated. Beloved brethren, I have once again, for the third time, been ordered to appear before the DSS at their just headquarters on Monday, 14 September. He is going there tomorrow. This is in addition to our battle in court. He's in court, oh. Why don't that evidence you claim you have against, is it, hey, black people, black, I want to ask, you claim you have new evidence against him. Maybe that's why you're inviting him. It's common sense. Because if you don't have any new evidence, you won't invite him. Why don't you go to court of law and tender that evidence as part of the case, ongoing case against him? Why must you invite him? When there is a court, hey, black, and this UG. You know, that is where some of them go mad, because tomorrow in the offices, their white friends will be saying to them, did you listen to Nnamdi Kanus yesterday, what he was saying about black people? And they'll just get upset and start writing rubbish on social media. I was just having a sip of water, please. They keep inviting him. Once you speak, they invite you. They ask, but their crime is that they're killing his people, and he spoke. The same way we are being not just marginalized, we are being trampled into the ground, and IPOB goes up and spoke and said enough is enough. That's all. That's our only crime. We've not killed anyone. Our only crime is that we said enough is enough, and Fulani doesn't like it. Look at the way they treated Obasanjo. You can see it. Obasanjo, for saying that things are not going right in the zoo, should be probed. Once you have not committed any crime or stolen any money they cannot blackmail you with, then they come after you. They invite you for questioning, they arrest you, they detain you, they kill you. But who are the bandits? Fulani. Who are Boko Haram commanders on the ground? Fulani. Who gave information to Boko Haram that this is what America is planning to do to rescue Chibok girls? Fulani commanders in the army. Who are Miet Yala people? Fulani now, of course, is Fulani. Zoo. And he just are saying one Nigeria. People are running around claiming they are for one Nigeria. They're intellectuals. Fulani is messing you up every day. You are claiming you're an intellectual, you're not a fool. There was something somebody posted, I think it's Ifeanyi Ago Best, he posted something very interesting and I loved it so much. And I want to use it tonight. and I want it posted on my, you post it there, the Facebook, like, let them delete it. That's their business. Post it there. Islamization. You know what he said? Nigeria army tactically kill those who may challenge them. That's what they do. Once I said that Buhari, that idiot that came there, that thing is not Buhari. They came to kill me. They cannot go after Miyetiala, who are the real terrorists, Fulani bandits, those that, by their own admission, El Rufai, the midget of Kaduna, paid people in to stop killing. They import. No one has gone after them. Once they see you that you can, once they see you as an impediment to Fulani advancement to the Atlantic Ocean, that Fulani advance to the sea, once they see you are an impediment, they try to kill you. That is what they do. Fortunately for them, they had in our case 3 years ago, they had Ohanese and Igbo governors helping them. Because of course, you know, Igbo people who have this disease of greed, envy, and jealousy. Our envy is second to none. Our jealousy has no scale. If you put it in a scale, it will break it. That is something some of us came to life with. Our jealousy is number one. That is number one. And when an Igbo man is jealous, they can do and undo. Ohanese and the governors, out of jealousy, something they know they cannot do. You know you cannot do it. Ohanese has not been able to, none of you were able to do what IPOB is doing today. For 50 years you couldn't do it. Until IPOB came. Until Chukwuka Kabiama determined that we should come. Instead of them to support, they said, no, jealousy is the best way to go. Let us be envious. Let us try and kill them. The same Boko Haram that is at also one, killing people. So that's a Fulani Janjaweed, Miyetiala. The same Miyetiala is part of Obiano's government in Anambra. The same people killing, raping our daughters and cutting them into pieces and dropping their parts everywhere. Abomination against the land. They cannot rise up to challenge. Only IPOB can. And given the envious nature of an Igbo man, envy, anyuku. Something they know they cannot do. They say, go and kill them. The same thing is happening in the Middle Belt. The Nigerian army will kill anybody who challenges them. Now, they went on to say, in this picture one, there are 3 pictures. Tawase Akwasa, a Benue militia leader who was working for Fulani before, that's how they are. You see the reason why Edwin Clark cannot say much. He can only say, let's restructure. He cannot talk much. Because if he speaks too much, Fulani will tell him how he came to them in 1967 and betrayed Biafra. So he will not say much. He just say, try and restructure now. Try and see what you can do to restructure. You know, that's how you know Sabo. Sabo cannot be very loud and speak consistently. Never. Never. The way we do, Sabo can do it. It really cannot do it. Tawasa was a Benue militia leader who repented and laid down his arms as he surrendered to the zoo security for amnesty. He was killed by the military after he surrendered. He was pulled from a convoy and killed. But Boko Haram, the same black people, hey, this black. Why is it that they cannot reason? I keep asking. What is wrong with the brain of a black man that they cannot reason? This man surrendered. On his way to meet government officials, Fulani soldiers pulled him out of the convoy and killed him. Whereas in the picture 2, Governor Masari of Katsina State and the military representative, military from the same army that killed this Tawase Agwaza known as Ghana, a governor, Ibas, are you listening? Igbo Efulefus, you governors, are you listening? A governor in Katsina State, Governor Masari, and the same army of 82 Division, the same Nigerian army, but in the east they are busy killing people unarmed, people who did nothing to them. But in Katsina, they are holding peace talks with bandits, and the bandits we are seen with their guns in the midst of a governor and a military man. Are you listening? Are you listening? the same governor that Ibazu is, that Obiano is, the same governors you have in the southeast that betrayed IPOB, an unarmed group agitating for fairness for their people. Are you following? The same people, the same, a governor, the same way you have Ibazu is how you have Governor Masari of Katsina State. There you have a bandit, a Fulani man with AK-47, a killer and a murderer. And they are seen having pictures and smiling and drinking brukutu. With the same army. The same, I'm sure Britain, of course, they listen. Britain, you're listening. The High Commissioner, you are listening in Abuja. You can see it. You can see army. You can see governor. You can see them having atete, TT with a Fulani bandit. No Operation Python Dance. No Operation Ugoro. No Operation Furadununu. None, nothing. They are saying, talking peace, army officer, army, with the governor of Katsina. But in the east, their governors are busy betraying those who are not armed. Then tell me why we shouldn't be angry with them. Just somebody please explain it to me. And in the third picture, these are repentant Boko Haram members in new uniforms provided by the federal government of the zoo, in spite of the fact that they have killed uncountable soldiers and cost the zoo, Nigeria, so much money. They are still pardoned, rehabilitated, and integrated into the security agencies. Killers in broad daylight, people that claim they're intellectuals, Tinubus, everybody, everywhere, we are the elite. You are there in Korokoro in broad daylight. They are bringing killers into the army, giving them army uniform. Nobody is killing Fulani people who are killers. But this man, having surrendered, was killed. Tell me why Middle Belt should be a part of Nigeria. And the funniest thing, maybe this Ghana, before he was killed, they told him that Igbo man is his problem. But you know who killed him is a Fulani man. Hey, Zoological Republic, the zoo. Do you see why the world is in love with us? Because we preach the truth. And that truth is what is going to set everybody free. If after what happened to Ghana, people, anybody from the Middle Belt is still nursing the idea of one Nigeria, you know you're a fool. You can stand on your own. If you doubt it, go and Google Liechtenstein. Google it. See how many there are. Are they not independent? Are they not independent? Forget all this nonsense. We are bigger, we are better, we are rubbish, pure garbage. Are you bigger than Soviet Union that broke up? Are you bigger than Yugoslavia that broke up? A bunch of Neanderthals. Go there, let your stupidity stay on it. Post it, please. It's Agopes that did a very fine job analyzing it for, you know, our brain is not that developed in this UG. Open it for them to see. IPOB, German authorities, matter. Is there any region anymore? Of course, there's Corona. Go and eat yam now, let's see. We march through the streets of Germany with German police escort. Have you seen the pictures? It was published by Scan News. Have you seen it? We march through the streets of Germany. A so-called terrorist group. Do you know? You know that, every time I come on air, I keep saying this all the time, that black people are evil. Both they are journalists, they are doctors, they are lawyers, they are evil. Of course, apart from Jofo and a lawyer, Jumako. This is the same IPOB that proscribed, the proscribed IPOB, the outlawed group, especially from Yoruba journalists, the outlawed group But the same thing this outlawed group is doing is the same thing your brothers are doing in London today, asking for Duduwa Republic. Are you going to write the outlawed Duduwa Republic, the proscribed? But when they write about Meyet Yala, they don't put proscribed or outlawed. When they write about bandits, they don't put outlawed. That is the extent of stranglehold. That is how frightened of Fulani they are. Your so-called journalists and editors, they are frightened to the bone marrow. They are shaking every day. That is why IPOB is proscribed. Sometimes in block capitals. Cowards there. Cowards there. We march through the streets of Germany. People should look for the news and put it everywhere. And you claim we are a terrorist group. Proscribed. But here we are in Germany. Come and march now in Germany. Let us see. Go and march now. Let's see. Those of you who are not proscribed, go and march. Because we're all over the world. Do you see how formidable we are? One Efulefu said is an empire. Of course it is. Awesome.
Fellow Biafrans, on the occasion of your rally to demonstrate your solidarity with the struggles of your kith and kin back home, I send to you all fraternal greetings. As one who has been entrusted with the onerous responsibilities of guiding our young republic through these difficult times, I must confess that it is always a source of deep pleasure and encouragement to me to receive assurances of the support of the people and their continuing determination to persevere until complete victory is achieved. It is, therefore, with feelings of unbounded pleasure and deep appreciation that I salute this august gathering. You are all aware that for over 4 months now, Nigeria has been waging a war of aggression to destroy Biafra and her people. This invasion by Nigerian hordes was mounted because the people of the former eastern region of Nigeria were forced on May the 30th, 1967, to declare themselves the independent state of Biafra in order to assure the security of their lives and property. As you are aware, the people of the former eastern region of Nigeria had believed, as if it were an article of faith, in the concept of a united Nigeria. No section of the then Federation of Nigeria had worked as assiduously for the attainment of this ideal as did Eastern Nigeria and her people. No section had made as many and varied positive contributions towards the realization of true unity. Having over the years spearheaded the movement for closer union, having demonstrated our faith in Nigeria in concrete terms, by allowing our sons and daughters to sojourn in other parts of the country, thereby contributing tremendously to the development of such areas to the neglect of our own, it was a hard decision for us to take to opt out of a federation in which we had invested so much. But we had no real choice. Over the years, our erstwhile compatriots had made it clear in unmistakable terms that they did not want us in the Federation. Since the 1950s, our people were expropriated and discriminated against in parts of Nigeria other than their own. Furthermore, the experience of the 3 harrowing waves of remorseless genocide in 1945, 1953, and especially in 1966, involving a total of nearly 40,000 dead and countless others maimed or destitute, provided an object lesson which could not but be taken seriously. Self-preservation is probably the strongest human instinct, and it is this that has compelled the harassed and persecuted people of eastern Nigeria to seek refuge in their own home and amongst their kindred. As a proverb of one of our Biafran languages has it, a man who is rejected by others cannot reject himself. The inordinate ambition of the Hausa Fulani oligarchy to continue to dominate the whole of what was formerly the Federation of Nigeria, the unrealistic desire to acquire the wealth and resources of Biafra while rejecting their people, the mad and homicidal desire to exterminate from the face of the earth 14 million Biafrans drove Gawan and his clique towards unleashing a costly war to attain the unattainable, the subjugation of this young but promising republic. Even with the vast resources of the former Federation of Nigeria, with which to prosecute the war, even with the active collaboration of those international opportunists, Britain and the Soviet Union, an unholy alliance of vested interests, even with the attempt to subvert our government by suborning some of our highly placed military and civilian personnel, an attempt which was foiled at the nick of time, Gawan has failed to make good his boast to crush Biafra. A campaign which he bragged would only take 48 hours to accomplish has now dragged on for almost 5 months and will drag on for as long as it takes Gawan and his clique, both Nigerian and others, to realize that nothing can shake the will or crush the spirit of a determined people. If Gawan's military campaign has achieved...
And you're in one Nigeria. Stupidity, stupidity, stupidity. There is a fuel, let us arrest those who are planning to do fuel hike, as they are reporting. Police arrest anti-fuel hike protesters in Lagos. You're arresting protesters in Lagos, but under Jonathan Oyedepo, all your so-called Pentecostal pastors, they came out to protest. Where are they today? They are scared and they are afraid. The Kama law has been passed. They can't do anything. Father G.O., Mama G.O., Sister G.O., Cousin G.O., Nephew G.O. Where are they? Hypocrites. All of them are hypocrites. And are heading straight to hell. When they were protesting under Jonathan for a very nominal fuel hike, now the Fulani demon is there, or should I say Aisha's boyfriend with the face mask. All of you can see very clearly. As I said before, I posted something about his hand, and that is why Facebook doesn't like me very much. They keep suppressing my post. I posted something about his hand. The next minute, they took a picture and they cut off his hands. It's there on my page. And the idiots will still ask, what have they achieved? The zoo is afraid of us. They are afraid. If you're not afraid, show me the hand of Buhari. Take a picture with Buhari's hand on it, if you're not afraid of IPOB and Radio Biafra. Take his picture, show us his hand. They cannot do it. Can they? I love what Aloy Jimako wrote. I'll read it for you. Those are talking about proscribed IPOB. If you're not proscribed, you cannot get your freedom. Anybody who lives, as Mandela said, once you are at peace with your traitor, doing a bit of Facebook, and now a microphone and camera on your mobile phone, you are living with your enemy, living it large, driving around, eating shawarma with your enemy. Your so-called enemy you're fighting is on the same queue, shawarma queue with you. After you buy your own, maybe chicken shawarma, he will buy beef shawarma. All of you will greet, hey, Ogaha Market, you get where you're freedom fighter. Hey, oh dear, freedom fighting indeed. Aloy Jimako said, Nigeria's nationalists were once proscribed. Nnamdi Azikiwe was proscribed and imprisoned. Are you aware of that? It didn't work. ANC was proscribed. Margaret Thatcher called ANC a terrorist movement. Do you know that the United States listed ANC as a terrorist organization? A whole US, a whole UK. Did it stop ANC? No, because of the will of the people. That is why IPOB is unstoppable. The will of the people. Zionism was proscribed, but it persisted till the state of Israel was born. The lesson from this, if at all our people can reason very well, is that proscription never subdues an independence movement. You cannot subdue IPOB. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how many arrests, how many killings. Do we look as if we are going to be frightened? What have you not done to us? Mpo massacre, Aba National High School, Mbema River massacre, also in Akwa Ibom. Everywhere there is massacre. Has it stopped us? Can't you reason? And I want you to give me an example in history where an independence movement, freedom fighting movement has been subdued because you're killing the members. Where has it ever worked before? Instead, we get more people recruited into our cause for information. You have never described Fulani group as proscribed, only us. If they are not afraid, as I keep asking, why did they cut off Buhari's arm from a picture, official picture? There is no arm. Because I told the world that look at the hand of a 40-year-old boy and the face of somebody they claim is 80 years old. Are they the same? No, they are not. And they're afraid. If you're not afraid of what we say, who are you going to be afraid of? That's why they took picture the next day with no arm. They said before Nnamdi Kanus will come and start analyzing his arm. They cut off his arms. Go and look at the pictures there. It's there. If the pictures are there, open your eyes, zoo animal, the pictures are there. Look at it. A president without any arms because of IPOB. See how potent we are. Everywhere. Today they are begging. Tinubu is saying that Nigeria's unity is his man. This was a man speaking from both sides of the mouth because he wants to be president. For your information, this is the man that Orji Zokalo is rooting for your information. This is the man that Orji Zokalo wants to be deputy. For your information, Tinubu. Unity is my concern. How is it your concern? He has urged Nigerians to be more united and abandon discrimination in all their dealings. Look at this fool that said he doesn't believe in Nigeria before. Go and look at Tinubu's history. He never believed in Abdul Salami's 1999 constitution. Tinubu was a believer in sovereign national conference, which he abandoned. Being a typical black man, that is what they do. One thing in the morning, different thing in the afternoon, different thing in the evening.
Fellow Biafrans, on the occasion of your rally to demonstrate your solidarity with the struggles of your kith and kin back home, I send to you all fraternal greetings. As one who has been entrusted with the onerous responsibilities of guiding our young republic through these difficult times, I must confess that it is always a source of deep pleasure and encouragement to me to receive assurances of the support of the people and their continuing determination to persevere until complete victory is achieved. It is, therefore, with feelings of unbounded pleasure and deep appreciation that I salute this august gathering. You are all aware that for over 4 months now, Nigeria has been waging a war of aggression to destroy Biafra and her people. This invasion by Nigeria
is not going to solve anything. Fulani will not listen to you. The only language Fulani understands is force. Reason and common sense eludes Fulani. They are cattle headers. These are Normans. They are not polished, they are not civilized, they are not educated. You must understand that. And that is why everything about them is in a mess, including their zoological republic. We are live, and of course we've gone with nearly 30 minutes past our normal time, but we must proceed. Somebody wrote, "I want freedom, not to go presidency," which is a very brilliant article. I suggest that people do go and read it. And I also commend the people of Okun, the Okun people. I think it's in Kogi State. They want to be part of Southwest. They are Yoruba. They are saying they want to go back to where they belong. I commend them for that. Very, very courageous. We have people in Benue. Some people are there. I can't understand. Igbo people are in Benue, 3 local government areas. Nobody's fighting for them. Omahi wants to be president. He doesn't care. Mietela can take over Ebonyi State for all he cares. Ohaneze is there. What they're doing, I have no idea. They can learn from the Yoruba people, the Okun people of Kogi State, saying we want to go back to want to answer Yoruba, want to be part of the Western region. I don't know why Ohaneze cannot do all of these things and unite the Igbo family together. You have Igbo people in Delta, you have Igbo people in Rivers, you have Igbo people in Akwa Ibom, Igbo people are in Cross River, Igbo people are in Benue. What is wrong with this one? What is your job? Let me ask Ohaneze, what is actually your job to start with? Yorubas are going back to where they come, and I commend them for that. And well done to them. You can now see that the North, the Zoological Republic, the northern part of it, have now decided to divide themselves. They now have the NBA. And having a Fulani man as the Attorney General, Fulani man as the Chief Justice of the Federation, they have amended the rules to allow them in the North to have their own NBA. Can any Southerner do this? He did just be telling about one Nigeria, but look at the way they operate. That is, sometimes you have to admire Fulani, how they defend themselves, how they work closely together to achieve that Fulani domination which they are all craving for. We are coming very, very close to the end of our program this very day. Somebody wrote a very brilliant piece. I don't have the time to read. I had wanted to please about IPOB and Nnamdi intellectuals. These are a bunch of fools. Which intellectual? How can you be an intellectual? You come out and say you're Nigerian. You're a fool, because it was created by the white man, not by your ancestors. Not by your ancestors. That is why we must educate and enlighten our people to make them understand that if you are in IPOB, you must always be very, very prayerful. If you are not prayerful, one of these 3 deadly sins will get into you. They are spirits and they are evil. The spirit of envy, of greed, and of jealousy. If you allow it, it will overwhelm you. And you will be shown the door as others were shown. You know, the thing about it is that once you're in IPOB and you feel that people know your name, and you feel you've arrived, and you think you can do something outside, and you're kicked out, you can the only potency you will have is to open as many fake Facebook accounts as possible. That is the height, the end all and be all of your potency. That's all. And I actually love it. As I keep saying, they make us even more popular. Absolutely popular. And I want to put on that, before I came on air, somebody said something to me which was very interesting. A senior member of our of our ruling council, which is our DOS. He said that the presence of Moses did not stop people from hearing about Joshua or Caleb or Aaron. The same way that the presence of Jesus Christ did not stop people from hearing about Peter, about Paul, even Judas Iscariot is also very popular. So Efulefu can be popular if they want to be. The coming of our eternal leader, General Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, did not stop the achievements of General Philip Effiong. It did not stop us from recognizing the work that Chief Frank Opigo did. It did not stop us from recognizing the work that General Alex Madiebo did. It did not stop us from celebrating Brigadier Timothy Onwatuegwu. It did not stop us from venerating Colonel Achuzie. It did not stop us from remembering the heroics of Colonel Nwafo or Colonel Nwawo. It didn't stop us from doing all of that. Never. The coming of Dr. Azikiwe did not stop the impact that Mazi Mbono Ojike made or the great stellar achievements of Sam Mbakwe. Therefore, if you have anything meaningful to contribute, the world will notice you regardless of your rank or profile. But if you think that because you're kicked out of IPOB due to your criminality and insubordination, that you will somehow find relevance you weren't able to get, or you weren't able to muster when you were in IPOB, then you're a deluded fool. You're deluding yourself. IPOB is unstoppable. If you like, ask your Zoom masters and they will tell you. With that, we have come to the end of our program this very evening, morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. As always, and without hesitation or prevarication, we state unequivocally and very clearly, even to the hearing of the deaf, that to other people, Biafra may just be a nation. To others, it may just be, as they say, some sort of a metaphor. But to us, it is more than life itself. Biafra to us is a religion. And here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim Chukwukika Biama is our God. I thank you very much for listening to us this very evening from the bottom of my heart. From me, from here, it is good evening.
Demonstrate your solidarity with the struggles of your kith and kin back home. I send to you all fraternal greetings. As one who has been entrusted with the onerous responsibilities of guiding our young republic through these difficult times, I must confess that it is always a source of deep pleasure and encouragement to me to receive assurances of the support of the people and their continuing determination to persevere until complete victory is achieved. It is, therefore, with feelings of unbounded pleasure and deep appreciation that I salute this august gathering. You are all aware that for over 4 months now, Nigeria has been waging a war of aggression to destroy Biafra and her people. This invasion by Nigerian hordes was mounted because the people of the former eastern region of Nigeria were forced on May the 30th, 1967, to declare themselves the independent state of Biafra in order to assure the security of their lives and property. As you are aware, the people of the former eastern region of Nigeria had believed, as if it were an article of faith, in the concept of a united Nigeria. No section of the then Federation of Nigeria had worked as assiduously for the attainment of this ideal as did Eastern Nigeria and her people. No section had made as many and varied positive contributions to towards the realization of true unity. Having over the years spearheaded the movement for closer union, having demonstrated our faith in Nigeria in concrete terms by allowing our sons and daughters to sojourn in other parts of the country, thereby contributing tremendously to the development of such areas to the neglect of our own, it was a hard decision for us to take to opt out of a federation in which we had invested so much. But we had no real choice. Over the years, our erstwhile compatriots had made it clear in unmistakable terms that they did not want us in the federation. Since the 1950s, our people were expropriated and discriminated against in parts of Nigeria other than their own. Furthermore, the experience of the 3 harrowing waves of remorseless genocide in 1945, 1953, and especially in 1966, involving a total of nearly 40,000 dead and countless others maimed or destitute, provided an object lesson which could not but be taken seriously. Self-preservation is probably the strongest human instinct, and it is this that has compelled the harassed and persecuted people of eastern Nigeria to seek refuge in their own home and amongst their kindred. As a proverb of one of our Biafran languages has it, a man who is rejected by others cannot reject himself. The inordinate ambition of the Hausa Fulani oligarchy to continue to dominate the whole of what was formerly the Federation of Nigeria, the unrealistic desire to acquire the wealth and resources of Biafra while rejecting their people, the mad and homicidal desire to exterminate from the face of the earth 14 million Biafrans drove Gawan and his clique towards unleashing a costly war to attain the unattainable, the subjugation of this young but promising republic. Even with the vast resources of the former Federation of Nigeria with which to prosecute the war, even with the active collaboration of those international opportunists, Britain and the Soviet Union, an unholy alliance of vested interests, even with the attempt to subvert our government by suborning some of our highly placed military and civilian personnel, an attempt which was foiled at the nick of time, Gawan has failed to make good his boast to crush Biafra. A campaign which he bragged would only take 48 hours to accomplish has now dragged on for almost 5 months and will drag on for as long as it takes Gawan and his clique, both Nigerian and others, to realize that nothing can shake the will or crush the spirit of a determined people. If Gawan's military campaign has achieved anything, it is only a confirmation of the fact that Biafrans have nothing to expect but destruction from the hands of their erstwhile Nigerian compatriots. In the few border towns which fell into the hands of the Nigerian forces, Biafrans were pillaged and what could not be stolen was destroyed, while the men were shot and tortured and the women defiled. Even foreign correspondents have testified to the massive killings of people of Biafran origin and a particular ethnic grouping in the Republic of Benin when that young republic fell into the hands of the Nigerians as a result of treachery. Instead of accepting the fact and the truth which they know, that they forced the people of the former eastern region out of the Federation, the Nigerian aggressors have been attempting to dupe the world by claiming that we seceded in order to keep our oil wealth to ourselves. you all know that in spite of our oil and other resources, the former Eastern Nigerians were always the greatest advocates of unity. General Ironsi, himself an Easterner, was murdered by the northern Nigerians because of his determination to unify the country. For a people who have made such great sacrifices and abandoned their most valuable investments in Nigeria in quest for safety, this is the unkindest thing to say. No, it is the Nigerian leaders themselves who are in fact guilty of what they accuse us of, and have shown beyond doubt that they are only interested in having our resources and not our people. Our detractors have also attempted to confuse African and indeed world opinion by propagating the despicable falsehood that our independence will be a precedent for separation in other African states. They have not bothered to ask themselves, for instance, what was the precedent for the alleged Biafran secession? The truth is that one secession does not necessarily lead to another. Throughout history, there has been a long list of empires that broke up into nations and federations which split into sovereign states. The Union of Great Britain and Ireland, the federations of Mali, Malaysia, West Indies, and Central Africa are recent examples of this. The disintegration occurred on account of unique local factors or to grave linguistic and religious differences. Biafra, however, remains a lesson to all countries of what could happen if they were to unleash a pogrom against a section of their own community. Amongst other spurious arguments trumped up by the Lagos clique is another that Nigeria is a single, interdependent economic unit and that its disintegration would disrupt established market trends and leave the separate economies so much poorer. It is true that as between the regions of the former Nigerian Federation, the economic pattern was one of interdependence, but this is equally true of all world economies which are complementary. But this should not make us to try and force unworkable political units on an unwilling people merely to create a large market. It is enough for both states to enter into trade and technical agreements. With more efficient planning, these separate units could even be made economically more prosperous. This also disproves the argument that Nigeria would not be viable without Biafra. Perhaps Nigeria may be poorer for it, and it should have occurred to its leaders to be more tolerant of people who they now admit constituted their wealth. But the rest of Nigeria has enough potentiality to remain a great and united African state, if only its leaders would show realism and imagination in harnessing their vast potential resources. The Nigerian leaders demonstrated their scorn for African opinion, which they are now trying desperately to cultivate by refusing to accept our calls for a peaceful resolution of our conflict through the good offices of many African states. Even when they had reluctantly agreed to the Organization for African Unity's desire to mediate, they are taking steps to frustrate their efforts. Biafra is no longer asking for anyone's mediation, but is willing at all times, as in the past, to resolve its conflict with Lagos at the conference table. The Organization of African Unity has shown itself insensitive to our suffering and incapable of resolving the crisis. A so-called mediation, which presumes that there is only one side to a dispute and can go to every length to appease that side, cannot be expected to be fair, objective, and just. The present conflict can now be resolved by individual states taking initiative by recognizing our right to existence and urging on Nigeria to abandon her war of aggression against an injured people. Having failed on all scores, the Nigerians have raised the bogey of a minority in Biafra being forced into independence against their wish. This again is far from the truth. Our people, irrespective of their ethnic grouping, have shown conclusively their commitment to and support of the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Biafra by their sacrifice in blood and contribution to the war effort. The decision to declare the sovereign and independent state of Biafra was a unanimous one made by the chiefs, leaders, and representatives of all communities in Biafra at the Consultative Assembly and Council of Chiefs and Elders. The so-called representatives of the minorities in Lagos have never had any popular backing, were defeated in elections in their own homes during the civilian era, and have since been denounced by their own people. Some of them, like Okoye Arikpo, are themselves guilty of intellectual dishonesty since they were party or sponsors of the constitutional proposals creating the present provinces of the Republic of Biafra in order to allay minority fears. Our people know enough of Lagos and can testify that the massacre of thousands of then Eastern Nigerians was irrespective of tribal affiliation. The bombing and other military brutalities since Biafran independence have followed the same pattern. Having suffered together, they are now united together in solidarity to fight on to victory to assure a place of honor and respect for themselves and their children. When the Lagos Vandals realized that they were doomed to failure, they, along with their foreign megaphones like the BBC, thought that they could win by pretending to be doing so. They are trying to make the world believe that they have taken Enugu, that the war is virtually ended, and that they are now engaged in the task of reconstruction. Nothing is further from the truth. Our valiant forces have continued to keep the enemy at the few border towns and zones they have captured by treachery. The gallant Biafran forces are now in control of most of Enugu and Bonny and are gradually wiping out the enemy invaders at Calabar. They have also re-entered Ogoja. The Nigerian troops will never forget the lesson of their Onitsha invasion, where thousands of their men were decimated. Our troops are fighting bravely and will continue to do so until victory is won. The Nigerians appear not to know that by unleashing a war of aggression, in addition to several past injuries, they have aroused a whole people against them. This is a people's war for freedom. Biafra has come to stay, and the fact of our independence is irreversible. Ours is a nation of 14 million people with various ethnic groupings, united together by past sufferings and present freedom, and nothing can shake our determination. Conscious of the justness of their cause, and with God on our side, our people are determined to fight to the last man, confident of eventual success. May God bless you all, fellow Biafrans, and keep and protect Biafra.